Are you interested in producing 3,000 pounds of deer food per acre? If so, follow along and follow these steps on this week's Land Beat. All right, guys, we're standing in the middle of kind of a forgotten piece of a lot of recreational farms. This is a corner that was likely pastured at one point and was potentially part of tillable acres. But now, after many years of not farming it, we've got fescue that has overtaken, we've got cedars that have overtaken, and we're talking about using the practice of old field management to produce more of the early successional forb or broadleaf components in this neck of the woods right here. But to do that, we have to get rid of the cool season grasses. They are non-native and they're a mat forming grass, kind of a blanket thrown across the seed bed. We're seeing in the edges and the margins of the field good species that are part of the seed bank here, but they're not able to express themselves due to the layer of fescue that's growing over top of them. We have fescue and a mixture of smooth brome, both cool season non-natives. But what we can do at this time of the year, we've got soil temps that have allowed that fescue to green up and grow prior to the natives growing themselves. So a simple glyphosate application, 2 quarts to the acre, or roughly a 5% solution of glyphosate, will allow you to treat this fescue. You want to be no shorter than this height, but this height and a little bit taller, because we get enough expression and vegetative matter for that herbicide to make contact and effectively get the right ratios of herbicide to that to really kill out the fescue and smooth brome. So this height and a little bit more above the thatch line is a perfect time to apply. You want to do it on days that aren't so windy, but are above 55 or so degrees. That fescue smooth brome is actively growing. It's going to take in that herbicide and effectively terminate it. Once it's effectively terminated, if we have a heavy thatch load, we use a prescribed fire and burn off that thatch. And then here comes that native seed bank. We don't have to plant anything. We just monitor and treat invasive species, spot treating in the years to come. At that point, we have hopefully a rich expression of that seed bank that is full of goldenrod, pokeweed, desmodium, blackberry, all the associated forbs that would come as a result of removing the fescue and allowing sunlight and the native seed bank to do their job. That is going to produce ample amounts of food, 3,000 plus pounds of food in a well diversified forb plant community or early successional plant community. That is offering great fawning cover, great forage during lactation and antler growth timeframes. That is producing great nesting cover for turkeys. The years that it's burned, it's producing amazing brooding cover. This is kind of the Swiss Army knife of recreational farms that no one really does. We drive past this all the time, just kind of the forgotten odd areas, and these should be managed and moved to the priority list. And this late March, early April timeframe is the perfect time to do it. Simple, low investment, high return on your time frame to take recreational properties and address the areas that are forgotten. Do this and you're going to see some great results and a lot of different wildlife interacting and utilizing these portions of the farm where they probably just either walk through or completely avoid it. One thing that you are going to notice back behind me is eastern red cedar. There's a pocket of it that is dense, right? There looks to be 6, 8, 10 cedars all growing. If we were to leave that alone, that is going to produce that cedar monoculture that we do not like. Easy to go in there with a chainsaw and cut 60, 70% of those and create that dotted cedar aspect in here. We would like to probably treat the ones that are bigger, 6, 8 foot tall, and keep the ones that are shorter and shrubbier, have more uses for shade, wind blockers, added cover into the unit itself. You're also going to notice there are some shingle oaks, some persimmons, some woody aspects into already naturally occurring here, but we want to encourage some of that too. So the ideal composition would be 25-30% woody structure, and then we have maybe 20 to 30% native grasses that would be coming back in here. Currently we've got some Indian grass and some grease grass as well as broom sedge, but then the rest of that would be your forb component. So a heavy portion of forbs growing in here, 50+%. That's going to give us a sweet spot of grasses, forbs, and shrubs or woody sprouts that we're going to have a lot of amazing cover in. One other thing, once the fescue is treated and been burned off, you can easily come in and do some additional edge feathering. If you're lacking that woody component in an area and it's just herbaceous and you don't have some cedars or some of the oaks already resprouting in here, you can drop some of the trees along the edge, make that woody escape cover, place it in here, and then birds are going to come and deposit new seeds. And it's kind of a temporary structure that you're going to relate to from the woody component. But it's not going to be growing anymore, but you can drop those trees and scatter them throughout here. That's going to help produce that woody cover that might be lacking. The last thing that you want to note is invasive species. On this farm, there's Sericea lespedeza. There's a pocket of multiflora rose right here as well. The follow-up management is prescribed fire every 2 to 3 years in areas like this, but annually you want to go through and want to make sure that you are treating foliar-wise those invasive non-native species. Here again, we're going to want to make sure we're targeting and following up this management of the cool season grass removal by getting rid of the Sericea as well as multiflora rose and anything else that would maybe want to recolonize in here or that we do expose through taking away the cool season grasses. Sometimes you're not going to get the biggest, best response, and it's going to change over the course of year 1 to 2 to 3. You just want to keep monitoring these things and guiding that plant community in response in the right direction. So habitat work is never done, but the amazing amount of results that you can get just by removing the cool season grasses is well worth it. And then just make sure you're hitting your points throughout the midsummer and rechecking these areas and addressing what needs to get removed through foliar spot treatments with some herbicides.